In this tutorial, we will show you how to prepare and circulate a real estate commission invoice. The purpose of a commission invoice is to alert the attorneys on a transaction prior to closing how much commission is payable to your firm for your involvement in the deal, either as a listing agent or as a buyer's agent. You will usually receive the request for the commission invoice around 2 or 3 days prior to the closing. Customarily, when you receive the request, it will come from either one of the attorneys or one of the paralegals or assistants working on behalf of either the buyer's attorney or the seller's attorney. The request is usually very time sensitive. For whatever reason, the attorneys usually don't ask for it well in advance. Instead, they hysterically demand it, in some cases the same day or the same afternoon when they send out the request. But fortunately, it's not a difficult task, so even if it is a short notice, it shouldn't be a problem for you to prepare it. Now, we're looking at a template for a commission invoice. This would vary by firm, but the truth is there really is no required format for this. In some cases, real estate brokers really just send an email. However, it is more professional to prepare an actual document and send that to both attorneys as well as your counterpart if there's another broker working on the transaction. So you may be asking or thinking, where do we find the commission info for the deal? Well, the commission information for a transaction has been known well in advance, well before, hopefully, you actually proceeded to transact and put the deal in contract. So the way to remind yourself of what the commission amount would be is to look at the deal sheet for the transaction. Now here we have a section of a deal sheet, and it is for illustrative purposes only. So it's a fictitious address, everything is just made up. But we've put this here to show you exactly where you would find the commission information. So let us assume that in this deal, we are the listing agent on the deal. So we've actually prepared and sent out this deal sheet probably a few months ago, and the commission information is listed usually towards the bottom. So in this case, the total commission is 6%, and the split is 3% to the listing broker, which would be us, and 3% to the co-broker, which would be the buyer's agent from another firm. So we know that the commission is 3%, and we also know that the purchase price is $685,000. So we'll open up Excel or take out a calculator. We'll put $685,000. We'll put 3%, and we will just do the calculation. So the total commission here is $20,550. So you would open up the template and you would start filling this in. So the commission is 3%, and as per our calculation, it's $20,550. So you would fill this in with $2,550. You would obviously put the date, so whatever that might be. And here you would fill in the seller's attorney and the buyer's attorney. So we're just going to make these up. So we're going to call this Smith Jones LLP. Maybe that's the seller's attorney. Buyer's attorney will say her name is Sheila Richards. So you would have this information from the deal sheet. And just to remind you, this is only a part of the deal sheet. So there's another section at the top which has the buyer's info, the seller's info, and the attorneys for both sides. So you put that in. Now the address is obviously important. So in this case, again, it's fictitious, 203 East 25th Street, apartment 4C. So in the address, you would fill in 203 East 25th Street, apartment 4C. Presumably we have the city, of course, is New York in this case, and just going to make up the zip code in the interest of time. So let's say the zip code is 10021. Now the name of the seller and the buyer, again, will be in the deal sheet. So let's just make it up again. John Smith, and the buyer is Leslie Alexander. And the final thing we need to do is fill out the sale price. The sale price is $685,000. So we'll put that in here. And just quickly review it to make sure that it's complete. Looks like it's complete, so we would go ahead and save this as a PDF. So pick the file format as PDF. And it's usually nice to professionally name the commission invoice. So in this case, we could put the date. We could put the firm, in this case is HomeDax Real Estate, and then we would put the address, 203 East 25th Street, apartment 4C. Okay, so we'll go ahead and click export, and that should save it down as a PDF. Now the next step is to go into your inbox, and ideally you have the email open which is from the attorney or paralegal asking for the commission invoice. So you would reply all to that email. You would make sure that the other broker is copied if you'd like. Technically you don't really need to include them, but in many cases the broker on the other side will continue to ask you to send the commission invoice. So an easy way to prevent that is just to copy them on the invoice, and that way they know you've sent it. So here we would actually go ahead and upload the document. So, you know, in this case, I'm not going to do it, but you would just drag and drop the PDF into this screen, and you'd have the attachment. And then, of course, you know, you would put in the unit or the address, 203 East 25th Street, apartment 4C. Matthew and John, in this case, I had just filled that in previously, but it's meant to be the names of the attorneys. So if we do it correctly, let's just say it's Smith Jones LLP. Let's say the contact's name is Eddie over at that firm. So Eddie and Sheila. So we'll put Eddie and Sheila. Again, I haven't attached the document just because this is a tutorial, but make sure you attach the commission invoice and make sure again that you copy both attorneys. Easiest way is to just reply all. And once you've done that, you go ahead and click send. And that should be the end of the process. Now looking ahead, once you sent the commission invoice, you're probably a few days out from the closing. So at this point, you'll want to remind yourself to coordinate the walkthrough with the buyer and the seller. So if you're the listing agent, you know, you have the keys, so you do need to provide access. If you're the buyer's agent, you would reach out to the listing agent and ask when you could be accommodated for the walkthrough. After the walkthrough, you have the closing, and it's usually on the same day, or in some rare instances, it's the next day. We hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, give us a shout, leave us a comment.